All right. Hello, this is Nefertiti, and this is What's Going On Radio, and also blog for CheveuxMobelio.com, all natural hair care and skincare products. And today I'm going to be talking on the topic of good digestion, new and improved you, starting with your digestive system, because it all goes hand in hand. I've talked about good skin, hair, and it all kind of connects together. So I'm going piece by piece and bit by bit what I am learning and what I have learned to share with you, so that way you can have the best results through either your journey through natural hair care or skincare products, or just going natural in general, eating natural foods, meaning no preservatives, basically organic, but truly organic, not anything with chemicals on it. I know that's kind of tough. One of the things that I kind of struggled with was that, um, getting right into the topic, basically, was that when you're in certain climates, you're basically supposed to eat local food. And you hear that all the time. You hear eat local, or support local farmers, but you really don't know the whole reason why behind it, besides the economics. Like where I'm at, it's freezing right now. I know you can't tell, but it's freezing. So, so basically, from my research and some of the people that I've been fortunate enough to listen to, have basically said, like, if you're in a cold climate or area where you have hot and cold, like me, you shouldn't eat tropical foods during the cold portion of the season. And that really hurt my feelings because I love eating anything like from anywhere. So it doesn't even matter where it is. It's just as long as it's a fruit and it's pretty and it's good to eat and take. You know what I mean? I love trying new things. So I love eating pineapples and all the tropical fruits and all that. I love making tropical desserts. I don't necessarily call them tropical desserts, but when I think about it, a lot of what I have been eating has been, basically in the islands, and I really enjoy it. So, basically, what he said was, the person that was sharing this with me, is that it creates toxins in the body. So when it gets warm, you can eat it, but when it's cold, you shouldn't. And you're supposed to eat locally, because now I had heard this before, and mind you, I've been getting into the natural thing for a little while now, but at first it sounded a little spooky. When people say, well, the water has a certain element to it when you're in your certain area. That's why you need to drink that water, and and so it just sounded a little far out. But in actuality, it makes a lot of sense, because it wasn't until I saw this documentary where a scientist actually said the same thing, and he had the research to prove it. But not only did he have the research, but they showed even in different religions how basically, you know, certain rituals are practiced, and how prayer has an effect on whether it's the surroundings, the body, food. It was very mind blowing, and you hear these things a lot, and no matter what you practice, I'm not here to kind of, I guess, advocate either or. Now, I'm personally a Christian, so I don't necessarily meditate into other things. Now, I'll meditate on the Lord, but that's me and my personal preference. So, but basically, what I'm saying is, no matter what religion, prayer is something that is used, and the scientists basically said that it's something that is a de-stressor, and that people who tend to pray tend to have much better lives, and tend to not have so many illnesses, for those that don't stress themselves. And they even talked about how they did a test. I don't know if I mentioned this on the other show, but anyway, they did a test, where, or experiment, where they had three beakers and they were talking about the power of words and how basically what you say to people really makes a difference. And they had one where they just ignored the beakers full of water and it had rice. All of them had water and rice. So they ignored one. The other one, they called the water stupid. I know it's really creepy stuff, right? And then the other one, they said thank you. The one that was ignored uh, basically putrefied itself. The one that had something negative said to it, basically stupid, um, it basically did the same thing. It deteriorated. But the one that they said thank you to fermented and it had a nice aroma. Now, mind you, they were all there at the same frame of time, same water, same type rice, all that. And so, anyway, it kind of solidified some of what they were saying about prayer and also about how your body works and how water is essential. And then also the other thing that I learned was that if you are hearing any cracking, like a lot of times people crack their knuckles all the time, that's a sign of dryness. It's a sign, and that also arthritis is another sign of being dry. You need more water. So there's a lot of things that I think, because especially if you're on the Western diet, you really aren't taught. You don't know certain things, and there's a lot of things that we do, that I used to do, that is not good for you, and it definitely will have an impact on your health. And a lot of times people don't like to admit that, and we don't like to go into all these details because somebody's going to get mad and try to say something to you about it, or sue you or whatever. Me personally, I'm just basing these things off my personal experience, and I will not name any specific, I guess, entities, because I don't feel it's necessary, and the main reason is that honestly, we're all here for a reason, right? And everybody is not privy to certain information or hasn't gotten to that point yet where they realize something that they're putting out, yes, it's good in the sense that it's food and somebody is eating and they're not starving to death, but at the same time, the responsibility of it being something good to eat, clean to eat. So everybody's not there, unfortunately. And it's not that anybody's better than another person for thinking a little bit more about what they put into in their body, but the results do show themselves and they will live longer. One of the things that kind of drew me to natural eating was that I noticed a lot of the ladies and even the men that seem to eat natural, they were talking about their organic, thing. They tend to not look their age, and that was one of the things that I thought was very interesting, because I have, most people in my family, they don't look their age, but I've met some people that literally, like, one man was like 90 something years old. He looked 60. There was another lady, I guess through some articles, one was a weightlifter. She was like 70 something. She looked like she was 50. So I was just kind of interested in, like, how are they going about that? Is there something in what they're doing that is enabling them to stay younger longer? It does have a lot to do with your laughter, your spirit, what you put into the world, what you get back, things like that. But overall, if you're a happy person, you choose to be happy, which a lot of times it is a choice. You can see fabulous results with that. But when you add eating properly, eating the right foods at the right times, making sure that you're drinking a lot of water, make sure that you're ridding yourself of toxins, it really, it adds to your life. And not only it adds to your life, but the quality, you have better quality, and you don't want to walk around achy and, grouchy, what I like to affectionately call people as toads sometimes. You always have that, group of folks or a couple of people who They're just mad, and they tend to give that off, and they don't even realize it. And I'm sure that we all have been at that point at some time, depending on your environment, how you've come up, what you're dealing with. We carry a lot of stuff around with us that we don't necessarily have to. And but as far as the digestive system, all the things that I just talked about goes hand in hand with that. Excuse me, with the digestive system, because when you have certain emotions that you're dealing with, did you know that your body actually starts to react to it, starts to give certain chemicals, that's the word, chemicals that will either help you or harm you. So these are some of the things that's why I always say, basically stay happy, look at your emotional life. It's something I had to do for myself. I mean, I've not had a perfect life, but I'm not complaining about it either. I mean, you can either use the struggles that you've been through to debilitate you or make you stronger. And the main thing that I would say is that if you're going through anything, if you feel like you're not getting the results in life that you want, you have to start with yourself first and self-assess, how do you feel about things, and look at the people around you. If they are not helping you in any kind of way, and look at if you're helping them. Are you bringing good things to their life, or are you always bringing stress and drama? I mean, we all can have our moments. You know what I mean? People can have misunderstandings, but I mean, overall, if every time you're around somebody, or majority of the time you're around someone or have an interaction with someone, and it's negative, meaning that just in case for those that need a gauge of what negative is, um, that would be basically someone maybe having a lot of sarcastic remarks. Like, for example, I'll give you an example for myself. Okay. Um, I had a co-worker when I used to work for other people that, there was things going around in the office that were a hot mess, and there were a group of people who specifically picked on different folks that they didn't like. They were all friends, and basically what I gathered from them was that they wanted to be the best, and instead of working on their craft, they felt like putting other people down would make them look better. So instead of relying on the talent, they looked at the person next to them and said, well, I'm going to be better than this person. So they would do stuff like really childish elementary, middle school stuff. Like, as soon as a person comes in the room, whisper, start to laugh. Or one of my coworkers was telling me that, what was it? It was something really dumb. And so we just encouraged each other, and we would pray and things like that. And basically, you know, whenever you were around them, it was always like a negative vibe. It was always like you already knew like what's gonna come next, and you try to think positive, but they were really some miserable, unhappy people. So even something as simple as, instead of helping a person, or instead of saying, you know what, you did a good job, it would be equivalent to, like, let's say you get an A on your test, and let's say if you're a child, you go home and you say, Mom, look at my grades, or Dad, look at my grades, and they're like, oh, okay, well, you could have did better on this right here, instead of, oh, you got an A, okay, well, let's look at what you got right. Oh, you got all of them right. Well, great. Okay, well, the ones you got wrong, we'll work on those later, but I'm just so proud of you. That's something totally different than, why can't you get it right? You know what I mean? If you're getting, again, more negative than positive, you kind of have to look at that situation. So, basically, what I'm trying to get across is that everything goes hand in hand. And I know I've said that before, but I just want to make sure that you really, really, really get it.